With everything going on in the world today, we are seeing advertisers change their approach of how they're marketing to potential new customers. They're also being a lot more cost effective and a little bit more leery on how they're using their budgets. So one way they're doing that is testing alternative channels. The big dogs like Google and Facebook are typically the ones that advertisers want to test first. But we are seeing really good results and sometimes a lot more cost-effective results using alternative channels like Quora, which I'm going to talk to today. So to help you out during these times, I want to show you how easy it is to find your target audience on Quora. It's only going to take you a matter of minutes to really figure out if your target audience is on Quora, and I'm pretty sure you can guarantee that they are. So use these tips that we're going to dive into and maybe test out a new alternative channel that you can still keep your advertising going but save a lot of money. So let's dive in. Today's video is brought to you by Shape, an all-in-one PPC budgeting solution that'll allow you to control, organize, and collaborate on ad spend at scale. You ready to start saving some time? Good. Well, then click on the link below and you can learn all about Shape. Now, if we're talking about finding your target audience on Quora, our first step would be to confirm that your audience is already on Quora. The good news is that you can see if your audience is already on Quora without ever having to run an ad. That's right, you can sign up for Quora for Business, start collecting audiences, and see if Quora ads are right for you without having to ever give up your credit card information. Once you've signed up for Quora for Business, don't start creating a campaign right away. Instead, click on this Pixels and Conversions tab at the top of your page. Then we're going to go all the way to the right side and then click Set Up Pixel. In the pop-up window, you have the option to install the pixel manually or with a partner. In my opinion, installing the pixel via Google Tag Manager is the easiest route. So in this video, I'm going to choose install with a partner. Once we click continue, we're going to get a pixel ID and I have it blurred out. All I have to do is hover over the pixel ID and a blue button will appear that says copy code to clipboard. If we click it, it is pretty much a short key to do a copy. Now let's head over to Google Tag Manager. I already have the pixel set up, but I still want to show you the step-by-step instructions of how to do it with Tag Manager. All right, we want to go and click a new tag. You will need to name your tag, but in the tag configuration, we want to scroll down until we see the Quora pixel tag type. Now I already have that pixel ID copied, so I just need to paste it in there. And then in our trigger, which is when we're telling Google Tag Manager to fire this Quora pixel tag, choose the all pages option. You're just going to be tracking all page visits to wherever you have Google Tag Manager installed on your site or your landing pages. I know I said previously you have to name the tag and then you could save it. I'm not going to do that because I already have the tag already created. But then you will want to go and submit and publish this tag so it's live. After you publish the tag, you'll be able to start collecting audiences within Quora. Hopping back into the Quora interface, I am now in the Audiences tab within Quora, and you can see just my personal website. Within the past 90 days, we can see the audience size of people I can remarket to on Quora. An easy way to show your clients if current visitors are already using the platform. Now, another audience you can create is using your customer lists to generate a list match audience of Quora users. So to do this, we need to go and click Create Audience and then choose List Match. If we click Continue, to see if your current customers already use the platform, you can upload a CSV file to Quora with all of your email addresses that you may want to market to. You can add in the audience name and description. While it looks like there's a drop down for the data type, email address right now is the only option that we can upload to Quora. Choose your hashing method and then choose the CSV file that you want to upload for this specific list match audience. If you find out that the match rate from your list is high, you can start running list match targeted campaigns or build lookalike audiences from your current customer list to run more top of funnel lookalike campaigns. Just keep in mind that your base audience needs to be at least 3,000 users before you can create a lookalike audience on Quora. And to create a lookalike audience, you may have seen it already because we clicked on the Create Audience button, and there's how you can create your lookalike. And you can also do this from your remarketing audiences as well. Now, we just talked about using data from your current customers with remarketing or list match audiences, but now we need to expand our reach a little bit. So our second way to find out if our current customers are on Quora is research questions and topics to target users with Quora ads. And to do this, just go to the main Quora.com website. If I had to explain to someone what Quora is, I'd say the highest level definition I can give is that Quora is a question and answer site. And all the questions people have asked are categorized into topics. So when you're logged into Quora, you can use the search feature in the top navigation to start your research. And one option is to just search for your specific questions yourself. In my personal experience, I love to talk about YouTube ads, and I love to build YouTube campaigns for clients. So if I wanted to find more people who are interested in YouTube advertising, I can just search what questions are out there related to YouTube advertising. Think about what questions your target audience might be asking. Does that question exist on Quora? Could you get your ad on those questions? It's really easy just to search for them yourself. If you're not finding specific questions relevant to your target audience, you can broaden the reach a little bit and maybe just search for a specific topic. I said earlier that questions are bucketed into topics. So if you find out that there are topics within Quora that are perfect for your target audience, you can target those specific topics with ads, knowing that your ads can appear on any question that is listed underneath that topic. Now, while I showed you how easy it is to search manually for questions and topics, I have to say it's not the only option. In the next 2 sections, I'll get more specific on how to better use the search feature to research targeting options for future ad campaigns. So that brings us to number 3. Run a Quora ad to answer a specific question posed by the Quora users. Question targeting is just one of the ways you can target your ads. You can't get any more specific than this. So if you see Quora users are asking very specific questions and your company or the thought leader within your company or you as the marketer has the perfect solution or answer to those questions, you can run ads on that exact question. The specificity of question targeting on Quora is absolutely amazing. But sometimes that I've found, depending on what industry you're in, or just how many users are interested in that question, focusing just on question targeting can be very hard to scale. So before you launch a campaign that's targeting just a lot of questions, you should really dig deep and research the volume that that question has first. And I'm going to show you how. I already have a question pulled up on the screen. What is the best free or cheap CRM for a startup? Now suppose you run ads for a CRM company that is focused on small businesses, solo entrepreneurs, people just trying to get their business started. This may be a perfect question that you would want to target for ads. But before you decide whether to target this question, let's look at a few areas on the question page. First, you can notice how many people follow this question. Right now it is 102 users. Relevant questions with a lot of followers are a good sign of how popular that question is and how many times users may go to that specific question page to find the answer that they need. The more followers you see on a question, the more likely you will want to target it. Now, if you see questions with few or no followers, the first thought in your head might be, well, nobody looks at this question. I probably shouldn't target it. But don't give up yet. All right, there's one more area that we can check. So we see the ellipses button, which is your more button, right below the question. If we click on it, I want you to go down and also check View Stats and Log. You'll now see the entire answer history and the log for this specific question. Now it's fun to actually go through the log and see how many people answered it and what's been changed, but to really focus on if you should be targeting this question for an ad, you want to look at the question stats area right here. In particular, note the total lifetime views that this question has had. So this question has had over 166,000 views. You can also look at the last time someone followed that question. So while you may think about 100 users following that question isn't a lot, it still gets a pretty good amount of page views. Look for questions with large number of followers, but sometimes you may find questions with very low followers still get a lot of views. If people get the answer that they need to that question right away, they may not need to follow that question to get notifications later on. If they get the answer, it is still relevant to them. They could still upvote the question, and the question can still rack up a ton of users coming to it without necessarily needing to have a lot of followers. It only takes a couple of seconds to evaluate the stats of each potential question you may want to target. Make the extra effort to ensure you're targeting questions that users are going to see. If you find questions you like, but you're not ready to target right now, or you pretty much may not have the time to target now, just go back, click on the More option again, and you can choose to follow the question privately. You can see I am now following the question, because every user will have an area in their profile where they can view all of the questions that they have followed. I want to pull this menu open for you again just so you can see it. So there are several ways you may want to use this feature. The first is you can save relevant but low volume questions. If you're not ready to target those questions yet, you can then go back later and see if those low volume questions have had more traffic or more followers, and maybe eventually they will be worth targeting with ads later on. Another reason is maybe you have a new product coming out, or a new feature, or a new service. You can be proactive on this targeting research and look for questions related to that upcoming release. Now you can save them for future reference. When the time comes, your product launches or your new service is out, you'll already have a list of the perfect questions to target. And another reason I love to use Quora is for competitor targeting. So you can privately follow questions related to your competitors. What are users asking about your competitors? What are they answering and saying about your competitors? You can use this information to come up with perfect targeting options or to doctor your ad copy to have it fit perfectly with what people are asking or answering about your competitors and capture their attention. The fourth way to find your target audience on Quora is researching topics while creating a campaign. I mentioned earlier that all the questions on Quora are bucketed into topics, and these topics allow advertisers to target the entire set of questions instead of searching for questions one by one. While the search feature option I talked about can also help you find topics, that can be time consuming as well, just to go one by one and start saving all of these different topics. So the easiest way I like to search for many topics at once is by creating a Quora ad campaign. We can already see I'm back into Ads Manager. I did the initial campaign setup. Now I'm creating my first ad set within this campaign. And just to clarify, we can still do this process without ever having to launch a campaign and spend a single penny. So to start your research, we're assuming you have your campaign settings all in place. Then in the targeted topics box on the right, we can start typing in keywords and search for those related topics that we're interested in. Quora can then suggest topics related to your search term, and then we can choose any of the topics that Quora suggests, just like you see here. Now, unfortunately, that recommendation list doesn't continue to pop up. So like in this case, I typed in small business CRM. I saw a few examples I also wanted to add, but I can only choose one at a time. And then I have to keep typing in small business CRM every single time I want to try to find those recommended examples again. And it's a little bit of a pain to do this one by one. To make this process easier, click on the bulk ad link. And in the pop-up window, use those same keywords and search for the topics. We can then check the boxes for every applicable topic that we would want to target that Quora is recommending. Initially, all these recommendations are going to be checked, so it's easier just to hit none and then just check the options that you want to add. I'm fine with these options for now just because I'm trying to do this quick demo. After you've researched all the topics you want to target, I would have you scroll down really quick. Yes, eventually you're going to want to add the other targeting options, location, device, you can add some exclusions, but for now I just want to show you the bid area. Because one of the benefits about Quora is their suggested bid is going to show you the actual range that people are bidding on for your targeting options. So the lowest amount that someone is bidding for these topics is 31 cents up to $3.39. You can just click on their suggested bid if you want to change your cost per click bid to be that amount. But the reason I wanted to show you is once you add in your CPC bid, it's going to go into that targeting criteria we see off to the right-hand side. So after we've researched all the topics, you'll be able to see the locations that you've chosen, the platforms where you're going to have your ads be shown, and the weekly inventory of the potential impressions that your current targeting options are going to get. And we only chose those 3 topics. If you're not getting the reach that you want, you can then go back and research more topics. If you're not finding the specific topics that you want, you may have to expand your reach into other campaigns or within the specific ad set. Now scrolling back up a little bit, in addition to looking for keywords related to your products or services, consider researching these topic targeting themes for your Quora ad campaigns. We already talked about competitor questions, so the first one should easily be competitor topics. And this approach can be a lot more affordable than trying to target competitor keywords on Google or competitor interests on Facebook. Search and see if these competitors show up on Quora. There are a lot of brands that already have their own topics with a lot of followers and a lot of overall question views. Then you can start creating a dummy ad set and get estimates of what the recommended CPC bid would be. It can be proof to go back to your boss or go back to your client and say, hey, I can get in front of X amount of people for this average CPC on Quora. A lot of times it is much more affordable than other PPC channels. You also may want to look at user behavior. It's common to search for topics that are related to what your product or service does. But now you may want to consider searching for topics on how users may use your product or service or why they need your product or service. So going back to what we see on screen, this example I've been using throughout this whole video, trying to target small business owners for a CRM. Right now, we're going after what the product is, but I may want to look up other topics like how to grow your business, how to start a business, looking for actions that users are searching for and they're needing answers for, where my product could help them in their situation. They may not know that they need this CRM for small business. They're looking for how to help their business grow. And if my CRM can help their business grow, I will also want to look at those specific user behavior topics to build that awareness to a new user group that is also relevant to what I'm trying to sell. Now, if you're finding that both the question and topic targeting options that I already talked about aren't giving you the volume that you want, consider moving over to interest targeting. So Quora explains it a little bit at the top. Topic targeting falls under contextual targeting. So it's going to show users your ad when they're currently on a question page within your topic categories. If we move over to behavioral targeting, there we see the interest targeting type. Now we could still use the same topics. It's just that interest targeting uses historical behavior. So users who have visited or answered questions in your targeted topics in the past, or they engaged with questions within those topics, maybe they've previously answered questions within those topics, they've upvoted certain questions within the past, those are all going to fall within the interest targeting. So again, topic targeting is more now, interest targeting is in the past. There were some additional topics in here, so the amount of impressions have really increased. If I remove them down just to the CRM topics, we still see that potential impression number is a lot higher than if I was targeting just the contextual targeting options. And if I scroll down again, we can see since it's a broader targeting option, the suggested bid is a lot lower than $1.85. Knock that one down all the way to a 10-cent CPC and still get in front of a potential relevant user if they were interested within those CRM topics in the past. So, what's the excuse now? All right, there really isn't one. It only takes a few minutes to really dive in and see if your target audience may be on Quora. We see a lot of fear in this industry all the time about testing new channels. We think all of our budget has to go to Google and Facebook first, and we need to maximize those channels first. That is not true. So just take a few minutes, if we all have some spare time, and just look and see, can you find your target audience on Quora? And hopefully these tips will help.
Thanks for watching our video. If you found it useful, give us a thumbs up below.
We release a new video at least once a week, so if you want to see more from the Paid Media Pros channel, be sure to subscribe.